I'm going to talk about two things here, just when we're kind of shooting around different topics.
Hit me.
Two things that are going to be two words that are coming up more and more. I see them online, so I thought they're worth mentioning. The first one is shrinkflation. And no, that's not what happens when Neal gets out of a cold shower. No,
that's a disappearing act, Chandler.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh, that's so funny. No, shrinkflation. Well, everyone may have noticed this. Like, you pay the same amount for the bag of chips, or you pay the same amount for the bundle of bananas, but all of a sudden there are less chips in it, or there are less bananas.
Bananas by the pound, so that was a bad example.
Okay. Well, all of a sudden they start.
You mean like a package of berries? A package of berries is a prime one. I feel like growing up back in the good old days, a package of berries was enormous, full of berries, huge, like the size of this lamp sitting on our desk.
Yeah, and
now they're like these, and it was $2.99.
Yeah.
Now they're still $2.99, but it's this razor thin package that's only the thickness of one berry.
Exactly. So you pay the same price, so that doesn't appear, at first glance to be inflation, but the actual what you get for that same amount of money is less. So it's called shrinkflation. You might see that around, and you're probably going to see some memes, because there was a great one on shelves. It was like 63 in this package for one price, and then right beside it there was one that was like 61.
It's actually
they're being sold together.
It's infuriating. Two things I want to say. I was using I'm going through an immunotherapy allergy treatment thing because I'm allergic to dogs, and I would like to get a dog, so I'm doing this right now. And even that, I'm imagining at one point the vial used to come full, and now I'm getting to the bottom of this vial, and the whole like center of the vial, like the bottom is like half an inch thick, and then it's like nippled all the way up. So like it looks like you're getting a full vial when you get it. But it's actually, they filled it all with the glass, and the inside of it goes all the way up. It's like a wine bottle. The bottom of the wine bottle goes all the way up. I'm sure there's some purpose for that as well.
Yeah.
But there's also an aspect of like making it seem more than what it really is.
Yeah.
Same like perfume. Perfume's super bad for that. The glass is like an inch and a half thick, and the inside is concave, and it goes all the way up.
Yeah, well, these are all examples of shrinkflation, where you're getting less for the same sticker price. So you as a consumer don't really notice, like, oh yeah, I buy these every week and they're the same price, but now they're smaller and smaller and smaller.
Last thing I want to point out with that, and they're going to do really well during this time, and the person who uses shrinkflation the best and uses it at all times of the year, dollar stores.
Oh yeah.
They are the master. You go there like, oh, it's only $1 for this. Like a sponge. And like, oh, I saw that same sponge at Superstore for $1.99. Grab that sponge from the dollar store, go to the superstore. The one at the superstore is probably bigger than the dollar store. The dollar stores will shrink up the packaging and make it look like the exact same, and you won't notice because it's on the shelf there, and you obviously can't have the two right in front of you to compare. But everything they have there will be slightly smaller, slightly less in the package, but they'll give you the same size packaging to make you think that you're getting the exact same product for $1 or $2 or whatever it is. They are the masters of it.
Yeah, it's the bait and switch. So that's what shrinkflation is, if you see that out there, which you will, but you might come across the term. The other one is stagflation. And again, we talked about this in an episode a long time ago. So I'm like, man, we're going to have stagflation. We're going to have stagflation. And typically, when inflation is high, and that's when the economy is humming along, you've got really low unemployment. And we've been in here doing episodes being like, man, unemployment dropped again. Like there's, that's great. The employment rate is super high. Inflation as it's high, unemployment is low. And by contrast, when inflation is low, the economy's not growing as quickly, unemployment is higher. There's a rare exception to that when there's what's called stagflation, when you've got super high inflation, but also higher than normal unemployment. And that's what we're headed to, because
not a great combo, rare scenario.
It's the worst thing. Everything's more expensive and more people are out of work. And it typically is caused, like if you looked at history, it's when there's gigantic shifts that kind of cause a contraction in supply, because all of a sudden there's something that's driven all the prices up with no real change in aggregate demand, and as a result of that, there's job loss, but the pricing is still going up and up and up as you kind of slide leftward on your aggregate demand, aggregate supply curve there, and that's where we're going right now, because the big increase in this case is oil, and this is why I don't feel these central banks can control inflation the way they think, because oil is not just at your gas. Like, it's not just when you fill up your car. That's not the real cost of oil as it trickles throughout the economy. It's everything. And
everything you buy is shipped.
Yeah.
Everything you buy, everything you touch, everything you do is goes through oil. Even a lot of the products are oil-based products. So it impacts absolutely everything that you're going to go through.
And no interest rate is going to suddenly stop like the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Like there are things beyond the control of these central banks. So the question then becomes, how much are they going to break as collateral damage by jacking up these rates to control inflation, which, newsflash, they may not be able to control. So stagflation is this rare occurrence where inflation is still going up, but unemployment also rises as well. It's a bad situation.
It's a recipe for disaster, and I honestly think there's definitely going to be, like, I think this is going to be a longer blowout than a lot of people are anticipating. Thanks for watching the clip, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see the full episode, check out our other page. The link is in the description. Also, check us out on Instagram and TikTok.
When I was broke, I had rich habits. When I was broke, I had rich habits.